driver retrieved a small vial from his coat pocket, unscrewed the cap. He took a furious snort of methamphetamine, looked into the rearview mirror, and wiped his nose. He took a final hit on his cigarette, carefully buttered it out in the ashtray. "Ready?" he asked. Without a word, Billy opened the SUV's passenger door and stepped into the night. Having unscrewed the overhead bulb, they stood on the back porch. The driver looked at Billy, nodded. "Coat," he said softly. Billy opened his coat. There were 6 photographs pinned inside on the right, 3 rows of 2. The man pointed to the second picture in the top row. It was a daytime portrait, taken against a backdrop of a painted concrete block wall such as one might find in a prison yard or a department of motor vehicles. The man in the photograph wore dark blue workman's coveralls, a lighter blue shirt beneath, buttoned to the top. Over the right breast of the coveralls was a ravel of red thread, perhaps where a name had once been embroidered. The man in the photograph was wearing exactly what the man standing next to Billy was wearing. He was the man standing next to Billy. Billy looked at the name printed in blocky black letters at the bottom of the photograph. "Sean," he said. "Yeah, Billy." With one hand on the grip of his Makarov, Billy rang the doorbell. A few seconds later, they heard the sound of the security chain moving left to right, the turn of a deadbolt. The man who opened the door was older than Billy had expected. He wore a lemon-yellow cotton robe over dark blue pajamas. Billy saw that there was a brown stain on the right lapel of the man's robe. Perhaps he'd been drinking hot cocoa when the bell rang. Perhaps the doorbell startled him. Yellow robe, blue pajamas, stain. Billy glanced down. There was nothing in the man's hands. He knew to watch people's hands when they talked to him. Watch a man's hands. Watch the man, his father always said. He noticed that the man had dirt beneath his fingernails. He might be a gardener, Billy thought, or a tradesman, though he was surely retired at this age. Perhaps he had a hobby workshop in the basement. Billy made a mental note to take a look, if there was time, even though he knew he wouldn't remember to do this. "Can I help you, boys?" the old man asked. He took turns looking at each of them, a guarded smile on his lips. "We're having a bit of car trouble," Billy said. He pointed over his shoulder, across the vacant lot to the next street over. Like Billy, the SUV was in shadow. There was no street lamp above. "Are you now?" the old man asked. "Yes, sir." The old man leaned forward, glanced one way down the alley, then the other. There were only a handful of lights burning in the row houses, over the rear entrances to the small retail stores. Night lights and security lights. "No cell phones?" the man asked. Sean held up an empty hand, the one not on the grip of the weapon in his pocket. "Ran out of minutes," he said. "Forgot to top it up at Radio Shack." The old man nodded in kinship. "Happy to help," he says. "You boys stand tight. I'll just go get the cordless and bring it to you. Call whoever you like. I got the unlimited long distance." Billy went through the door first, pushing past the old man with ease. The kitchen and eating areas were small, just like most row houses of this design. To the right was a stove and refrigerator. To the left, the sink and cupboards. The only thing on the refrigerator, held in place by a ceramic magnet in the shape of a banana, was a coupon for takeout pizza. Ahead was a short hallway leading to the front room. Halfway down the hall on the right, there was a small bathroom, long in need of upgrade, as well as staircases leading upstairs and down to the basement. Billy heard the back door close and latch, footsteps approaching. A few moments later, the old man walked down the hallway into the living room. Yellow robe, blue pajamas.